All right. So we're gonna get into the main, well, one of the main topics today. I figured we start off with this because it's lighter. I think people will like this. I think it's a fun topic. But here we have the title of the video um is Comics Explained is Cooked. It's a 29-minute long video. Okay, and then we also have a 16-minute response, not to this video, but to the controversy itself. So let's see. Let's see. What exactly did comic book historian, like not comic book historian, sorry, what Comics Explained did? Sorry, I can't believe the clout farm Nux has been able to cultivate. Dude, it's fucking insane. And like Nick's coverage of it pointed out something. It's like people generally have the attention span of a goddamn goldfish. They have the attention span of a goddamn goldfish. And despite the fact that Nux Taku has over 2 million followers, and sadly, I assume the videos of like the fucking hentai stuff he's been reacting to and supplying fucking teenagers, people forget, and they're just like, oh, then they just move on. It's like, oh my god, he did that, he did that. But no, yeah. Anyway, a lighter topic that does not involve pedophilia, thankfully. Here we are with Comics Explained is Cooked.
Okay, it's time to have a very hard conversation about what is objectively YouTube's biggest comic book content creator. Let's talk about it. So you guys have probably already heard the news by now. I'm sure it's already made the rounds, and the drama has already ensued. But yes, YouTube's biggest comic book content creator has been called, and not only has he been called,
yeah, I'm not allowed to say it on stream, but yeah, people have been calling him an Uncle Ruckus. Let's use that term. Sorry, not Iron Mouse did a collab, sadly. I mean, I don't watch Iron Mouse. I don't watch VTubers really. And like fucking hell. It just, I don't know. It makes me think like, why? Why did these people? Why did these people want to collaborate with him? It's like, and like my main criticism is like Charlie Oompaville, Mudahar. Why did you people like actively see what he shows you? Like actively see what he shows you, and think, oh, this is okay. This is okay.
He's been called by me. Here's the thing that I want to put up front about this and what this video is about and what it's not about. For one, I don't care that Rob doesn't cover Black characters on his channel during Black History Month. I don't even really care that Rob doesn't cover Black characters on his channel unless it's convenient for him, or there's some algorithmic gain he can get out of it.
Well, yeah, that's a lot of like what comic book YouTube is, unfortunately. Because like, I mean, and this is the reality of it. Unfortunately, a good chunk of like the newer comic book fan base is from the movies. And so what people do is they find out that so and so is getting a movie. They look up videos about like, oh, what's the character's history? What's the character's origin? So that way they can figure out what the character is about before the movie. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Comics Explained didn't really talk about like characters like, for example, like Black Panther until like the movie came out. It's unfortunately like for those content creators that are focused on making the money and the algorithm, yeah, they're just going to focus on like, okay, what character is popular right now at the time.
because that's honestly a lot of the reason why he does what he does. Money motivates Rob more than anything else. Let's just keep it a buck. I don't care about any of that. That's actually not why I agreed with the sentiment that he was. And there's actually a misconception about why people think I called Rob a. There's actually even some misconception on Rob's part as to why I called him a.
Well, you know, I hope your reason for it was good. I hope your reason for it was good because damn man, why are you calling him that? why are you calling him that? Because that just seems a little mean. It seems a little toxic for the comic book community. That is the funny thing though, is that like comic book content creators, when we covered like the Shine Comics stuff, when they get into fucking controversy, man, they fucking go gun-ho with like just like slandering the other comic book guy as much as possible.
And for anyone who was wondering, yes, I have actually spoken with Rob in the time that all this has gone on. I actually tried to reach out to him before I made my statement publicly defending him from allegations of such, and he kind of blew off the whole thing as if it didn't really matter or he didn't really actually care. Like he literally
caught a glimpse on Twitter, all the shit going down. You good? Always, lol. Okay, so like it doesn't seem like it's bothering him that much, but like this is the Comics Explained does what I call the Keemstar effect. Because like what Keemstar used to do back in the day was someone would like be in controversy or like respond to him in a tweet, and his way of responding would be like these long Twitter videos. And actually, did he delete? Oh, he okay, good on him. Did he delete these? Good. Because like he was fucking just like releasing like wait, no, he did not. I just didn't scroll far enough. Like I'm looking at like an 8-minute long video, 9-minute long video on his Twitter page, just like explaining his end of like controversies and what his political thoughts are. It's like, dude, why are you doing this? Make content instead. Don't be doing this.
chuckled it off with like, oh, LOL. Let's get that out of the way first. And after I defended him from allegations of because he does not, quotey fingers, represent or support black characters, evidence to the contrary came out of the woodwork, so to speak. In a Threads post that I put up defending him in video format, mind you, someone pointed out to me that Rob follows white supremacists.
Okay. This is where I have to draw the line. White supremacists, Nerdrotic, and Critical Drinker. Listen, they have some shit takes when it comes to certain media because they solely see through the lens of, oh my god, this was made in modern day and has woman and or black person, therefore it woke. Yes, they have shitty opinions when it comes to movies and comics and games. They are not white supremacists. They are not. They're just shitheads on the internet grifting so that way they can make money. Well, not even grifting. I think Critical Drinker holds the opinions that he actually holds the genuine opinions that he does, but the problem is it's like he just sees through the political anti-woke lens so much. Like I used to watch a lot of Critical Drinker, and yeah, unfortunately, his takes on stuff hasn't really changed for the past couple of years. He still has feels like he hasn't really grown as a content creator. He just has the same mindset of just woke. all woke thing bad, all woke thing bad. If they're woman, it woke. If they're black person, it woke. But like, I don't think that makes him a white supremacist. I think that makes him an idiot who can't critically think when it comes to, I know, finding critical drinker, but like, you know, I'm sorry, but like, this is where you lose me. If you don't have any other point other than he follows Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker, which by the way, like obviously you follow who you want, but like just because you follow someone does not mean you endorse every single opinion that they hold. Like, and like the extremist opinion of like these two are white nationalists, I think is fucking moronic.
Oh boy. Nazis.
There were people, when I talked about this publicly online on Nerds of Culture just this past week, there were people who tried to come to me and to his defense saying that, oh, well, you know, he's probably only doing it for research, or you know, he's probably only doing it for this, that. And here's the thing. I want y'all to stop, because y'all actually gave him an excuse that he later parroted in a video response to that, you know, getting out. And I want to point out in this video, which I believe was like almost 10 minutes long, he spent almost the entirety of the video talking about Blue Marvel and a bunch of other ancillary bullshit, and then waited till the last minute of the video to address the fact that he follows white supremacists. And he treated it almost as if, and I'm not the only one who thinks this, there was a lot of people who were responding to me pointing this out. A lot of people were, you know, even saying that it kind of felt like one of his explainer videos.
Probably just how he talks. Okay, so like, just because you pulled up the clip. So I'm going to pull up in turn the fucking You Miss Comic Story. I miss him too. Let's see. I believe it is this video right here. So
Okay, so it has been a crazy last few days. So for those of you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, let's have this conversation, right? Because honestly, I think it's something that needs to be addressed, right? So let's have this conversation. So for those of you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, a few days ago, a guy tweeted out that he thought I was a coon because I had not covered Milestone. The fact that I had covered a lot of black characters didn't matter. It was the fact that I had not covered Milestone. Now, of course, this drew a lot of ire from my fans, and it kind of left me asking the question, like, what the hell about that makes me a coon? Like, I don't understand that, and why would you even use a racial slur like that in the first place? But the argument that they had, and to their credit, the argument that they had was that while covering all those other characters from Marvel and DC is nice, Milestone is probably the most important creation within the black community. Which is to say, Milestone Comics is effectively FUBU within comic books, right? It is black superheroes created by black faces, right? And the whole basis behind Milestone's creation was that there just hadn't really been any representation within the comic book industry regarding, or really not a lot of representation within the comic book industry regarding black faces when it came to creating comic books and black superheroes, which is an accurate statement. You'd have to be some kind of a...
Okay. So he says here in like the last few minutes, he addresses like following Critical Drinker and Neurotic. So let's see.
Believes. And you need to know what the other side stands for. And you need to listen to what the other side has to say. Not because you respect them, not because you like them, but because you are not right 100% of the time. And they are not wrong 100% of the time. And how could you possibly know whether or not you're right if you reject any opinion other than your own? At that point, you're just confirming your own views over and over and over again. Right? And so that's why I follow them. I don't like or respect Critical Drinker or Nerdrotic, and I have no problem admitting that publicly. If I happen to bump into them at a Comic-Con, they're like, oh my God, your comics explained, we're huge fans. Do you want to get a beer? I would just be like, no. And then I would leave, right? But I do listen to them because it's entirely possible that...
Okay, so like, it seems like this whole drama just stems from the fact that he follows two controversial figures. Wow. I'm glad you made a 30-minute fucking long video detailing this, buddy. I'm hoping he has stronger evidence. That used to be a name of a cheese here a few years ago until the internet taught Australia it was a slur. Man, Australians were like the super racist. Like Hitler wishes he was Australians. Dude, with how you guys treated your people, like goddamn, Wookie.
Like the way he framed it, the way he kind of danced around everything and didn't really talk about the thing that, you know, supposedly he was there to talk about. But at the end of it, when he did actually talk about it, and I want to make something clear here, I personally addressed him before giving my opinion on this. And I'm gonna tell you, matter of fact, before I tell you what he said in that video that didn't make any goddamn sense, let me talk to you guys about what actually happened in that DM exchange. Basically, to start the whole thing off, on February 5th, I said, hey, caught a glimpse on Twitter, all the shit going on over there. You good? Question mark. And once again,
No, yeah, Comics Explain might just be a Uncle Ruckus. How are you the biggest comic book YouTuber and a black man and not have a series over the most impactful black-owned comic book company of all time?
then he messaged me like a few hours later saying, always, LOL. Now, this is before I found out.
Oh no, what did what all we did was steal all oh my oh my god, Wookie, no, Wookie, no. No, Wookie, that's bad. Wookie, that's bad. You can't be doing that, Wookie.
Out that on Twitter, he follows very well-known white supremacist Gary. Is it Belcher? I don't know. Maybe he was a Bob Burgers character. I don't know. But otherwise, Gary, aka Nerdrotic, and Will Jordan, aka Critical Drinker, two people who are at the forefront of many of the racist and, you know, just outright bigoted across the board. Not even just racist, but like homophobic, transphobic, really just about any kind of phobic you could.
No, just and I don't even think that. I think they're just like brain rotted fucking losers. They're just like all their talking points are anti woke. That's it. I don't think they're genuine. They're not genuine white supremacists. I don't believe so. Cause then you get in those fucking weeds of like people saying that like Mahler, who like has Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker on as like guests of his EFAP show. You have people saying that like Mahler's a Nazi, and Mahler's not a Nazi. He's just a fucking guy who talks about movies. I didn't even think Mahler's conservative at all. But like and don't get me wrong, okay? I've watched the biggest problem in the universe. Like they've made fun of Nerdrotic the whole time. Like I'm not a fan of Nerdrotic at all. But like again, I cuz the guy's a loser. I don't like defending him, but he's not a Nazi. He's not a white supremacist. Now if there's a tweet where he's like, "Yes, I am a white supremacist," and yeah, you got me there. He's a white supremacist. I'll take back any defense I've had of him thus far in this video. But I don't know, man. It just seems like you hate people that he follows, which is perfectly understandable. I'm not, to be clear, I'm not saying that you have to like Nerdrotic or Critical Drinker, but I think to like burn the bridge with Comics Explained and to try and say that he is an Uncle Ruckus when he just follows these guys, I think is rather ridiculous. I'm hoping you have more, because again, we're only 4 minutes into this video. We're only 4 minutes in, and it's 29 minutes. I'm hoping that there's something here. And oh, dude, I'm betting in the comment section of this highlight video, I'm probably gonna get people saying that I'm a right-wing grifter. Dude, you know what's funny is I just uploaded a highlight video making fun of Nox Taku, and I got called a left-wing grifter and that. So it's just like, dude, I hate the fucking like mob mentality that these people, that both sides fucking have, where it's like you have to 100% agree with us or else. It's like, no, I don't. I can think you're both fucking dumb. I think you both deserve to be made fun of.
it that would be just completely ridiculous for a person to feel about another human being. And yeah, he follows them. And when I saw that, that was kind of my canary in the coal mine, which, to be fair, there should have been others. Rob's done plenty of dumb, problematic shit before this. But yes, that was my canary in the coal mine. And I want to make something clear. This wasn't something that like, oh, he had just started following them. He said that he started following them 6 months ago in that video I kind of alluded to earlier. But either way, he doesn't follow very many people. He follows like 215 people. And while the list I looked at didn't show all 215, Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic were damn near at the bottom of his follow list, which for those who don't know, if you're on Twitter, you look at someone's follow list, whoever's at the bottom are the people that person has been following the longest.
I mean, if he's lying, if he's lying, if he's lying about how long he's followed them, I think that is rather dumb on his end to do so. Just be honest. It's like, yeah, I followed them for a long time. That's all you have to do. Agree with me, John, or you're a nuck simp. I could not resist. Right? right. You have to agree with me. Agree with me right now. Dude, agree. Yeah, no, it's fucking dumb. It's fucking dumb. I hate these people so much. You have to 100% agree with me.
Let's get that out of the way. But then he comes back later after I saw this evidence and then said, yes, okay, maybe you guys were right.
Haven't been on Twitter in like 2 years. My shit is 2000% deleted, so I can't see shit on there anymore. But now there's a screenshot is sitting in front of me. Oh yeah, I was wrong. Y'all were right. Rob is a Uncle Ruckus. Dude, what the fuck?
Right. He is a. I actually said that on Threads. And then apparently, I guess he saw it, which I mean, honestly,
agree with me, John, or you're an old man. Blue Jay, that hurts. Blue Jay, what the fuck, Blue Jay? Oh, Blue Jay, why you do this to me, Blue Jay?
I wasn't trying to hide it from him. The reason why I didn't like reach out to him immediately when I saw that shit is because I knew how long it would take him to respond. Because typically when I reach out to Rob, I think this was in 2024, I hit him up. It took him a few days to respond. So if I literally would have sat there, there's a high probability that it could have been a while. I remember one time I said, hey, there's something you wanted to talk to me about. And he was like, yeah, I'll hit you up in a day or so. And the next time that I heard from him was when I reached out to him over a year later. So I just want to point this out that Rob doesn't talk to me the way that he might try and make it seem like he talks to me. I'm not in his inner circle. I'm not like some of his other content.
He's trying desperately to like disassociate himself with him now. He's like, guys, I'm doing the video where I disavow him. Okay, I don't like him. I don't like him, guys. Well, you know why. But no, this is so fucking slimy. Is it not? Is it not slimy to just act like this where it's like, guys, I'm disavowing him. I'm good, right? I'm good.
Content creator peers where he's buddy with like Sal and Comic Drake, so on and so forth. I barely know the guy. Outside of the conversations you all have seen us have on social media or like in a video or live stream or something like that. But then we go on to say, Rob sees the video, he messaged me on Discord, and I kind of give him about roughly the same treatment he gives me. I didn't immediately respond. I actually saw that he had messaged me and was like, okay.
Wait. That I'm seeing slander in chat. John on his tin pool beanie denial arc. I'm not in denial. I'm fucking cold. There's a difference. I'm not in denial about this. I'm not whatsoever. I'm fucking cold, and you know exactly why I'm cold. It's because of my bald head. John, where is your never stop gooning Mitch at? I didn't know Mitch had merch out right now. I had no idea. Listen, if I'm gonna be wearing anyone's merch, it's gonna be my own merch. I'm gonna be one of those assholes.
And moved on with my day. I went and went to a hip hop show, hung out with my kid, did the husbandly things, you know what I'm saying? And then, I was, just doing other stuff.
Guys, get this. I'm a comic book fan who gets laid. That's basically what that amounted to right there. That's what that amounted to right there. It's like, guys, I read comic books and women touch me.
I even did a live stream that day too. I was like, hey, I'm gonna give him the same energy he gives me. When I actually finally got done with my day and came back and read, I saw that it said, hey, I saw your thread video though. I didn't realize you felt that way. And which is kind of funny because when he's talking about the video, I actually didn't say anything negative about him in the video. I just pointed out how Rob runs his channel and what matters to him. So,
I mean, dude, it's like you either are that guy who's like, yeah, I like the money, or like you're just, or you're not.
I don't really know what there is to be angry about that. I was like, and I even was honest and said the thing that he even admitted later that he doesn't know shit about Miles.
I would not purport to be an expert on Milestone comics, right? I mean, I could lie and say that I am, but anyone who's knowledgeable about Milestone could press me for 5 minutes and figure out that I'm full of shit.
I mean, yeah, and that's like because like generally, most people only know Milestone comics for Static Shock and Icon. They know Static Shock because he had his own TV show. And they know Icon because he made a cameo in Young Justice, and they found out that he was Black Superman. That's about it. But yeah, I mean, I prefer, honestly, I'm glad he's transparent. I'm glad he's honest about the fact that he doesn't know a lot about Milestone comics. Would you guys rather have him lie about it? Because it's like, this is a thing where like you have to worry about certain creators. Is that I've known about Milestone forever. I'm sure you have. I'm not saying like you as an individual you don't know anything about it. I'm just saying that like to the average like comic book enjoyer, to the average comic book fan who's like just like casually watches the movies, they don't know a whole lot about Milestone. And like, you say what you will about Rob, I mean, like, at least he's being honest with like he didn't read Milestone growing up.
Right, and making the statement that I'm knowledgeable about Milestone.
And then he messages me like, I think almost a couple of hours later, basically saying that, well, I guess your thread video and your comments agreeing that I'm a and it's kind of funny because once again, he's mischaracterizing the situation. In that video, I never said he was a so that lets me know he didn't actually watch that video.
But I mean, you did post about him being one, though.
I actually was very defensive of Rob. And here, I'll show you what I said. Okay, so I saw people cooking my man shit on the artist formerly known as Twitter yesterday, and I saw it kind of escalate a little bit more the past few hours, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit and kind of maybe give some perspective. So yesterday, Rob was called for not uplifting, black comics and black comic creators, black superheroes, stuff like that during Black History Month. And while I think the person who, threw that, label at him was kind of out of pocket, I also have to admit that there is a reason maybe why there is this perception.
Oh, I see. You didn't call him one, but there's a perception as to why he would be one. I see. Good work around there, buddy. Excellent job. Good on you.
Now, let's go ahead and just clear the air here. Rob has talked about black characters on his channel before. As a matter of fact, he once did it to his detriment. He is a lot of the reason why a lot of people know who Blue Marvel is to this day, and he is the biggest comics YouTuber out there. That's not a lie. It's literally fact. It's a fact. But the problem is that in the past when he has tried to talk about black stories, like case in point, I remember once he did a video about Sam Wilson as Captain America when that was first a thing, and his audience crucified him for it because his audience is largely white. This is why he doesn't talk about black characters very often. And I would also say you're also really only going to get black characters out of him that are like, that he knows from Marvel and DC. He's not really going to talk about black characters outside of that. And let's keep it a buck. Those characters are white owned in a lot of cases, really in all cases, because, you know, the corporations themselves are white. Now, if you want to, you know, talk about Milestone, which I saw other people like Jay Penumbra bring up, and he doesn't bring up Milestone, and a lot of other people brought this up as well. I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all.
At Wookie_Z became a member. At Wookie_Z celebrates 8 months of membership.
Yo, thank you, Wookie. Thank you. By the way, yeah, if you guys ever do a donation, it's read out now. it's read out now. You use that responsibly. Thank you for renewing your membership, Wookie. Thank you for all the support, man.
Rob doesn't know anything about Milestone. He doesn't read Milestone, at least not to my knowledge. I've talked to the guy before, both on a hot mic and off mic. And you can even go back and look at, you know, past Blur Caves where he's come on. He's openly admitted he doesn't really know much about Milestone. He doesn't keep up with Milestone. Rob doesn't really read many comics outside of, like, cape shit, as far as I'm aware. I mean, at least most of what he talks about, like, anytime we're, like, when I've talked to him and brought up comics that weren't, like, you know, big two comics, he generally wasn't aware of, like, what was going on.
Okay, I mean, so he's not a cultured fan. He's not a cultured fan whatsoever. How is this video not just John without a beanie? Oh my god, what? What? How is this video not just John without it? You know what the funny thing is? I'm sure if like me and this dude had a conversation about comics, I'm sure like we would like have a fun conversation. It sounds like this, like, cause like I know about like some like not, I don't want to say independent is the wrong word, but like non big two comic books here and there. Obviously it seems like this guy has a lot more vast knowledge than I do, so I would love to learn about like all the independent comic book creators out there.
And that's the same for Milestone. I think he only really knew about Milestone because of Static, and not even because of the comic Static, but because of the Static Shock animated series. To the point that he even calls Static Shock, even though that's not actually Static's name. Yeah, that's another story altogether, though. But if you want to know why, that's why. So then I responded and said, that's why I hit you up to check in. And I wanted it straight from you. I honestly can't lie and say it doesn't break my heart. You actually fuck with racists like Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker. Fuck the video shit. You cover what you want. I stand by that. But you can't give me a reason that would make sense to me why you fuck with people like...
By the way, fucking with them is just following them. Keep that in mind. It's just following them. He's not actively endorsing what they're saying. He's just following them, right? Same glasses. I mean, if it's not Marvel or DC, then that means it's indie. Well, no, not that. Cause like Dark Horse, Boom Comics, IDW, these are not like indie studios. These are big publishers, just not as big as Marvel or DC or Image. Image is another one. God, especially in the 90s, Image was big. The problem is the market for comic books is so small now.
Like them. They are OD racist, insidiously anti-black, two of the most homophobic and transphobic men in our circle. Others, seeing you follow them, pretty much endorses their bullshit. I hate to see it, and it made me seriously question some things you've said and done in the past now. Try to make me understand. I'm willing to listen. Maybe I got it wrong. I'm willing to give grace, but I can't promise I'll like the answer. Now, Rob responds a little bit more immediately than what he would normally do, and I'm gonna tell you why, and it's because of two reasons. One, he was angry at me, and two, I'm willing to gamble he was hurt. He had.
Oh yeah, you're calling him a fucking Uncle Ruckus. I would be, if I was him, I would be insulted too. What do you mean? Image has awesome G.I. Joe and Transformer books right now. Oh, that's awesome. But no, like, yeah, dude, you called him an Uncle Ruckus. Of course he's going to be upset by that. I'm sorry. Like, do you expect him to be like, yes, good on you for calling me Uncle Ruckus, good on you?
Had hurt feelings. I can promise you that, because the way he was responding to me basically just kind of gave the game away. It almost kind of reminded me of times when, like, you have like a breakup, like you got somebody you're dating and then, like, y'all break up and, like, while y'all might talk all the time, but like people are really like quick to fire back responses, and like some of those responses feel kind of petty and whatnot. That's what it kind of felt like to me. And which is wild considering I don't think we were really all that close. I think I was actually one of the few black people that Rob interacted with other than his wife. He claims he has other black friends, but I find that doubtful, just based on some things he said and done. But then he sends me this video. And once again, this is like a almost 9.5 minute video. He just dropped the video. Like, he said, hey, watch this, and we'll watch this video, and this is going to answer all your questions. And while technically he was correct, it answered all my questions, I don't think I gave him the response he was hoping for, because my immediate response to this video was, I said I was right. I wasn't going to like the answer. I was like, I don't follow either of them or anyone like them, and yet I'm always aware of the racist, hateful shit they say. I have plenty of ways to suss that shit out without giving the appearance of endorsing them. How would you feel if you knew I followed Charlie Kirk or Candace Owens or Donald Trump or David Duke? Would that shit sit right with you? And Rob's response, honestly, I kind of saw it coming to.
Why do you give a shit about who follows who? Again, a follow does not mean endorsement. Like does that, like, I don't know, am I the only one who thinks that's like a crazy take to have? Because, like, just because someone follows me doesn't mean they endorse everything I say. And that goes the same for me. Just because I follow someone doesn't mean that I endorse everything they say. It's like, I'm pretty sure I'm following Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic, actually. And guess what? I don't agree with their opinions. I just like seeing I like seeing their dog shit opinions on my timeline and laughing at them.
Mile away, and it was basically what let me know, yeah, we were done. We were done. Like, whatever it is that anyone thought we were, that shit wasn't happening no more. And he basically said it wouldn't matter to me because it has no effect on me or my life, but you do you, home slice. So when I saw that, honestly, I was gonna leave it right there.
Dude, that's actually a good response. It doesn't affect me. like Donald Trump's not sitting there going, I was going to enact the cruelest policies against the gays, against the immigrants, but I haven't gotten that Comics Explained follow yet. I haven't gotten it yet, so I can't do it. Oh, what's that? Comics Explained has followed me. He's followed me. That means I can do the greatest thing for America. Like, no, it's not like that. Like, dude, like, guess what? Whether again, I'm not operating under the fact that I'm not saying they are. But if Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic are genuine Nazis, how Rob following them doesn't change their opinion. John's favorite movie is Rogue Elements. Joke's on you, I've never seen that movie, and I have no idea what's that about. It sounds like a government conspiracy movie.
There. But then, like about 30, a little over 30 minutes later, he comes back and says, Oh, and one last thing. As far as giving the appearance of endorsing them, you just found out I followed them today or yesterday. I've been following them for over 6 months. If I was endorsing them, you would have found out a long time ago. And he posted a screenshot of, you know, part of the thread, like the thread that I had put out. Which is kind of funny because he posted about roughly around the same time that I was typing the message that I'm showing you guys now. I actually sent it immediately after. He didn't respond, which
this is all incredibly dumb. I think Rob's problem is that he even like gave in and responded to any of this because he didn't need to. I'm of the opinion I don't think Rob needed to really respond to this.
honestly, I don't care. Yeah, it is what it is. But my response, I thought, even in that, was gracious. Because I saw the fuck off after, because literally right as I was hitting enter, he had sent that. He sent the now fuck off part. So I was like, you know what? Whatever. I was like, you know what? Let the chips fall where they may. I was like, he and I, we are officially enemies now at this point. That's what that is. But basically, I just said to leave it where it was sure, whatever. Anyway, hope you get your shit together, dude. I used to have a lot of respect for you. Seriously, fuck views, fuck subs, fuck internet fame, fuck rubbing elbows, fuck all of that. This all lives matter, MGTOW, Nazis might be right bullshit you're on is next level weird. Please seek help. The bullet point of that video he sent me was basically to say that he follows Critical Drinker and Nerdiest because he gave some screed about his dad telling him, oh, you got to know what both sides are saying. You got to know what both sides are saying. Okay, I'm sure your dad actually told you that bullshit, but here's the thing I don't think he told you.
Dude, this is so fucking dumb. So fucking dumb. It should be A Clockwork Orange. That I've seen. That's a good movie.
I don't think he told you to actually follow them. To actually
Well, no, I'm sure in the context of his dad's probably telling him this in the fucking I don't fucking know, when he's probably a fucking teenager or a young adult. Probably his dad wasn't thinking of Twitter. His dad was thinking, oh, well, you gotta know what both sides of the aisle are saying, because that's a very old person, old timey kind of way of thinking.
To have their shit show up on your social media feed. I'm almost positive that might not have been the exact sentiment.
Getting into the whole conversation, right, about one of the, people started to figure out that, I follow Critical Drinker and Nerdiest on Twitter. Yeah. I mean, if somebody tweeted out and asked that question, do you follow Nerdiest and Critical Drinker? I would have been like, yep. Now, why do I follow them? Because when I was younger, my dad gave me a really good piece of advice, which was this. He said, if you're going to stand for something, then you need to know what the other side believes, and you need to know what the other side stands for, and you need to listen to what the other side has.
I mean, that's actually I think they when you in history class, when we would cover politics and stuff, because obviously during the Cold War and stuff. Anyway, yeah, I mean, if you want to formulate good arguments against what your opposition is saying, then yeah, you gotta research what they do. That's actually okay, outside of all the shit he's done, right? That's one of the commendable things about Destiny, is whether you agree or disagree with his politics, the dude researched what he was saying, and you could still agree or disagree with him, but you could understand where he was coming from with his train of thought, and he understood what his opponent was saying with the train of thought. That's what all these fucking wannabe political debate bros don't understand, is that Destiny actually fucking put in the work to do research, But anyway, I digress. Like, this is such a fucking dumb drama to be in. Dude, like I love it when like the comic book drama is like you thought so and so's issue of amazing, spectacular, super awesome character was bad. Well, it was actually good. You know, I love it when it consists of that. But this is just fucking dumb.
To say, not because you respect them, not because you like them, but because you are not right 100% of the time, and they are not wrong 100% of the time. And how could you possibly know whether or not you're right if you reject any opinion other than your own? At that point, you're just confirming your own views over and over and over again, right? And so that's why I follow them. I don't like or respect Critical Drinker or Nerdrotic, and I have no problem admitting that publicly. If I happen to bump into them at a Comic-Con, and they're like, oh my God, your comments explain, we're huge fans, do you want to get a beer? I would just be like, no. And then I would leave, right? But I do listen to them because it's entirely possible that they have an opinion out there somewhere that actually changes and it gives me reason to rethink my own viewpoints. That maybe I'm not actually as right as I've been telling.
I mean, I get the sentiment, but like also too, it's like it's fucking Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker. You're not gonna get a whole lot of fucking good opinions out of them. It came out that Destiny actually Googled a lot pre AI, so you must be cultivating an AI now. Oh my God, yeah, it's probably like ChatGPT, search up Gaza. Search up Gaza for me.
Myself I am this entire time.
This is a sick Negro.
Real talk. If you need a white supremacist, if you need to follow a white supremacist, two of them, you bear in mind, two completely different white supremacists in order.
So like, so I forget his name, but there was this black guy who was actually able to convert KKK members into not being racist. And how did he do this? He became friends with them. He would talk to them. Unfortunately, if you want to be able to change opinions, change the future generations' opinions, sometimes you have to talk to the opposition, give them perspective on why you're coming from the way you are, you know? That being said, caveat, I don't think Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker are supremacists, but I mean, they're definitely like the anti-woke crowd who would probably like make fun of you. Because like I hate using this, but it's like this is like striking me as like woke-esque, like SJW type content. Like this would be the type of content that would be made fun of in 2016. I would totally see like old school commentary people covering this.
To make sure that you're on the right side of things, or you're hoping that they can give you some information that's gonna maybe change your worldview on something. Like, look, if you ever find yourself in agreement with a white supremacist, you need to revisit some shit.
But again, you're operating this as like if Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic are white supremacists. They are not. They're just fucking idiots with microphones who give like the generic anti-woke take. Just because you're anti-woke does not mean you're a Nazi. It just means you're an idiot.
Yeah. Please seek help. I don't need white supremacists to let me know that I'm on the right side of things, okay?
Oh my God, that's a perfect freeze frame for a thumbnail. Perfect.
Maybe if you're morally compromised or morally bankrupt, and honestly, I think think Rob is. I also think he's got some anti-blackness in him. Because he leaps at opportunities to shit on other black people, which is kind of funny because I've seen him actually talk about how, like, oh, the people who are the most racist to me are other black people, other people.
Dude, I feel like this guy would fucking hate Eric July. Eric July was on that fucking he was like a spokesman for that fucking like for that conservative like alt-right platform. I forget what the name of it was, but like he was like, but like Eric July was like, oh, like he's the black guy, he's like, we're not racist. Look, we have a black guy, and then Eric July also did the whole like, oh, is Miles Morales Spider-Man thing, and then also, too, he does run his own, like, comic book publishing company. He produces his own comic books, so, good on him there. But I feel like this dude would absolutely hate Eric July.
People of color, they're the most racist to me.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me, too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
But literally, I saw him doing this. Like someone actually told me about how he used to talk shit about Angel Reese for no other reason than the fact that she was a black woman. Honestly, that right there in and of itself is a whole other host of problems, but to get us...
I mean, did you see, like, the proof of it or anything? Blurp doesn't like Eric July. Okay, yeah, he does. He doesn't like Eric July. Okay, I'm gonna have to find his videos talking about Eric July because I think that will be funny to watch in my free time. I don't think I'll actually make content out of it because it's like, I don't know. If you like this guy, more power to you. But I'm not liking his. I'm not liking the non-comic book stuff. It just seems like it's like, you need to 100% agree with me or else you're a Nazi.
Us back on task. The reason why I took umbrage with him following white supremacists outside of the obvious is that it's like, well, here's the thing. I don't really follow anything that I don't want to see. Like, I can keep up with what Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker and Heels versus Babyface and Young Rippa.
Oh my god, Heels versus Babyface is a fucking... That guy's fucking stupid as hell. He's the guy who fucking screamed at the top of his lungs. I Saw Him is pretty gay. It is. It's pretty gay. I Saw Him is like one of... It's like one of the worst indie comic books I've ever read before. But like, fucking hell, man. This guy's real. I'm sorry. This guy's really been insufferable. I've read I Saw Him. The book is Timu Luke Cage. Well, like to Eric July's credit, he has like, I think he admits that, like, not even admits, he's talked about in his videos before that like Luke Cage is one of his favorite superheroes. So like if he was to make his own superhero, it makes sense that like it would be like a Luke Cage pastiche.
And Melanie Mack and Geeks and Gamers and all of these other people who kind of traffic in white supremacy.
No, this actually nerd is awesome.
What was it? No, this actually nerd is awesome. Yeah, no, right. Actually, I Saw Him is good. Okay. I Saw Him's the best thing ever made before.
And just very bigoted and misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic views. Like, people who are literally like, they brush their teeth with anti-blackness. I don't have to follow them to know what they say. I know what they say. I have ways of finding out what they say. I have ways of finding out what they say.
Yeah, it's probably because you got people, you people who follow them. Because, like, I'm sorry, if you have to pay attention to someone's feed to actively know what they are saying, right? So you either have to know someone, or you are directly going out of your way to find the stuff. And in my opinion, how is that different than following them? When you're following them, you don't have to like grab your way and be all quote unquote You don't have to be sneaky about it. It just appears on your fucking feed. So like, I don't know. I don't like, because like you find out what they say. Rob finds out what they say. I don't know what the fuck the difference is. The only difference is he follows them and you supposedly don't have Twitter. Which, I don't know. Granted, maybe you actually don't and you just, like, it's just people send you shit. But like, dude, honest to God, if you both disagree with what these people are saying, why does the follow matter? The follow does not equal, again, a follow does not equal endorsement. It doesn't. There is anti-black people toothpaste shipping some to Teddy. Oh my God. Fucking hell. I'm sure Teddy would fucking love that. But oh my God, this is so irritating. This is irritating.
Need a play-by-play, blow-by-blow of what they do. Like it, like, and honestly, that's what you get if you follow somebody. Now, once again, he only follows 215 people. And just based on how my social media algorithm works, I follow over 1,000 people on Threads. And
Threads is a shit platform, by the way.
I don't think that it really goes outside of the spectrum of comic book artists and writers, wrestlers, actors, singers, Instagram baddies.
We found us a tipster, guys. We found the black tipster. You're married and you're following Instagram baddies? What the fuck, man?
You know, cosplayers. Yeah, cosplayers. Like maybe the odd video game developer, you know. And political activists. You know, those are like the 8 types of people I follow. And my feed is largely like political activism, titties, ass, political activism, video games, anime, titties, ass. Yeah, that's my feed. That's my feed. So what you're telling me is that like, yeah, his is like, okay,
we need the Stop Gooning merch. We need someone else to create the Stop Gooning merch right now. He's skinnier than Tipster, though? I mean, yeah.
Comic book shit. Oh, white supremacy. Oh, comic book shit. White supremacy. That's basically what his feed is. Once again, I did a video actually talking about and breaking down some of the things that were being said, you know, debunking a lot of things that were said that you said about like people like Nerdiest and Critical Drinker. I didn't watch their videos, like not on, you know, their channels or anything. I didn't follow them. I downloaded them off of YouTube and then watched them in my own time. I don't give them I don't give them metrics. I don't give the appearance of enjoying their content. Like, they get nothing from me. Like, if you see me watching a nerd, even like on my live streams where we've like responded to shit that like Nerdiest and Critical Drinker and other people like them, even in those live streams, we're not watching their video on their channel. That video has been downloaded from their channel without even clicking on the video.
Good job. You have the moral high ground there, I guess, then. Okay.
Thus, they get nothing from me. It seemed like a very piss poor excuse. Because honestly, I know what happened. I think and you know, now that I think about it, I think I know what video he's talking about. I think he's actually talking about the Nerds of Culture live stream. I think he tuned in for it. And I think that's where he got that, you know, other stuff from. Because he kept thinking about the Threads video, but I think he was actually thinking about the live stream, because there I was very loud and proud about what I had to say about him, because by that point, evidence had already mounted against him. And there was really nothing he could say to beat the charges. And that was also kind of where people were trying to defend him, saying, oh, it was research. And notice how he used that very same line of thinking when he tried to defend himself for all of like 30 or 40 seconds in a 9.5-minute video. But then the other thing that came up, and this was one of the things like, you know, this is kind of where I was defending him actually, and he just didn't realize it. I don't care if he doesn't talk about Milestone Media on his channel. I knew before y'all knew that he didn't like Milestone Media, and it's kind of funny because it actually came up in a live stream. Like, he basically, like, Carter and I were talking about Milestone, and he was just really quiet. He didn't have anything to say. Just was what it was. And also, I want to point out too, Rob, I think he doesn't like being black. Like even the little bit that he is.
All right, Jesus Christ, man. Jesus fucking Christ. You don't like being black, the little bit that you are. Like, bro, fucking hell. We're talking about black. We're talking about white supremacists, but dude, you're starting to fucking sound like a black supremacist. Where you're just like you're not you're not black enough. You're not black enough, Rob. It's like yeah, sorry. Let's have Rob go back in time and fucking have his black parent have another black parent. Yeah, fucking hell, man. Jesus.
I mean, think about it. Look at his profile pic on like Twitter and on YouTube. It's literally.
It's I mean, for one, it's creepy. It's creepy. When I watched Comics Explained, I swear to God, it was not this. I don't remember this being his profile picture. It was something else. But like, this is based off of like and I hate that I know this, but it's like based off of like an ugly bastard anime trope character.
Literally a white man. It's not him. He is.
I mean, it's. Listen. Rob, Comics Explained. It may be a lighter tone than you, but let's just say it's very accurate to your body build. It's very accurate. Listen, man, listen. Maybe lay off the Cheetos. You know, get a jog going. Listen to an audio reading of your comic books, you know. Listen, from one fat guy to another. Jesus Christ.
At least a dozen shades darker than his profile pic in real life, but yet he has the picture of a white man on his YouTube channel.
This is a sick Negro.
That's crazy. That's a whole new next level of wild shit. And then to top it all off, just everything else, his like him dumbing down Milestone Media to FUBU.
Milestone Comics is effectively FUBU within comic books, right? It is black superheroes created by black faces.
That's the only black-owned brand that Rob actually knows about. Let's just go and keep that a buck. But he dumbs it down to FUBU and then says, it doesn't resonate with me.
There are some stories that just don't resonate with me, and Milestone's one of them. It just didn't resonate with me on a personal level.
I'll give him credit. He did say earlier in that, I think that was like an 8-something minute video. He did say earlier that video, he was kind of dancing around a lot of shit, but like in that video, he did say that he thought Milestone was important and that, it was something that needed,
No, yeah, gotta give Milestone credit for what they did. What's FUBU? I'm not, off the top of my head, I'm not too sure myself. But again, obviously, if you can't tell, I'm a white man, okay? Not white, because I'm so fucking pale. But no, it's just Milestone is very important. And they've been successful because you have characters that are in the semi-mainstream, just as static, such as Icon. More so static, but again, Icon's been mentioned in several pieces of media outside of comic books, and I know people have been wanting James Gunn to add Sliggins. It's for us, by us, a black owned shoe and clothing company. Oh, okay. Thank you for informing us, Sliggins, because I genuinely was ignorant when it came to what FUBU meant. But what I was saying, sorry for the by the way, but I know people have been wanting James Gunn to add Milestone characters. I think the issue is the rights, because I don't know, just because Milestone is a comic book company, but I know DC, what is it, like DC partially owns it, or at least like DC published the hell, Milestone is a part of the DC main continuity again. Yeah. I know the rights for certain stuff is kind of weird because like I think DC owns the comic book rights, but like if they want to do if they want a Milestone character in like a TV show or in a movie, I think they have to go to Milestone and get like their approval for it, if I remember correctly. I'm not quite sure on how the rights work on that. I just know that like James Gunn isn't able to use any of the Milestone characters without checks and balances, making sure it's okay. Because like I know like royalties have to be like added into that as well.
To exist, but it was also within the same breath. He was like, yeah, but I don't give a fuck about that shit. Once again, this is a video to fault him for not liking Milestone. He's well within his rights. But I will say, it does strike me as a little sus that you like the black character who was a all lives matter, both sides are, and honestly was even kind of seen as problematic by other black people, which I feel like Rob really identifies with, because I noticed that some of the things he was talking about in various other threads, he was one of those people who's very adamant that he was like, oh, I don't want to be the voice of black politics. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. That's not my thing. And ultimately, in the last video that you put up talking about, I'll address this, it basically all boiled down to centrism. Like Rob basically bragged about being an enlightened centrist. I mean, he didn't call himself an enlightened.
I feel a bit called out here. The enlightened centrist. I'm not right or left. I'm a secret third thing. Right. That's the thing too, is that like, well, I've noticed that like, I notice right wingers do this less so, but left leaning people will, oh, you're centrist. You're a right winger secretly. I've seen a few conservatives being like, "Oh, you're a centrist, okay, liberal, okay, communist," and it's just annoying because it's just like it is absolutely, you have to play team sports if you want any sort of quote unquote like validation on your opinion on anything, and it's annoying. It's very annoying.
Centrist, but I mean, he was basically the enlightened centrist meme. That whole, oh, there's fault on both sides. Look, I get it. Yes. Is there fault on both sides? Sure. But when people talk about how they don't want to share their political opinions or they don't want to take a political stance, that's honestly like, that's shorthand, at least to me. In my experience, I've generally been right about this, when dealing with people like this. In my life, when I have encountered people who say that, oh, I don't like talking about politics, or, oh, I don't really like sharing my political opinions, or I don't really like diving into the political arena, it's usually for one of two reasons. It's usually because they're afraid that you're either going to find out that they have either bullshit politics or no politics at all, or you have fucked up politics.
I mean, the fringe political beliefs are probably somewhat a thing, but like, listen, I don't like talking about politics really that much. I know it's probably hard to tell, considering that unfortunately some of the drama has evolved around people who are political, but I think I've done well enough to like make fun of both sides equally, because like, dude, like the stream before Nux Taku, we were fucking laughing at iDubbbz, and then the stream after that we were laughing at Nux Taku. Okay, these are two people on the opposite sides of the political spectrum, and you know what? Yeah, I'm laughing at this guy who's like, if you're an anti-woke dude, you're automatically like a white supremacist, right? But guess what? Guess what the next topic is? Guess what the name of this stream is? Okay, we're gonna make fun of Chibi Reviews, the alt-writer who's a fucking lolly-loving, ice-loving, fucking anti-trans motherfucker who got cucked. Okay, and I think that's fucking funny. I think I'm centrist too, but more right than you. But no, like in all seriousness, this is the people who are. I get it if you're passionate about politics. Okay, I have people in my IRL who are very passionate, very vocal about politics that they believe in, and I 100% support them. And I actually agree. And funny enough, I actually agree with them when it comes to like especially in stuff involving like trans and gay issues. Like I'm like, trust me, I'm like I am 100% in support of like all that stuff. I'm sorry, I'm not, surprisingly, guys, I'm not intelligent when it comes to politics. I'm gonna fucking like blah, 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 a bit, stumble upon the words. But anyway, I don't know, man. Just to be so fucking like politically brained when it comes to like everything is just so annoying. It's like, is there anything you can enjoy without a political angle whatsoever? It gets annoying. That's why I got so annoyed with people like critical drinkers, because they could not keep the politics out of shit.
And that's usually what that boils down to. You know, just it's one of those things like I'm not talking about like, oh, I don't like doing this shit at work. I mean, I'm talking about like not wanting to do this shit, period, ever, on anything, regardless, no matter what. And I'm sorry, but in the day and age we live in, you might have been able to get away with that like prior to 2016. But in the day and age we live in now, I feel like if you don't stand for anything, then you stand for nothing. Or you stand for the status quo. Take that how you wanna. But that's just how I look at things. And I'm sorry, but you having a platform as big as you have, and then in the same breath wanting to, I don't want to share my opinions on that stuff.
But yeah, I think we got plenty of his opinion. We're going to be watching the Comics Explained, because Comics Explained, for some reason, decided it was a good idea to make a video. And he's not in a studio, he's in his car. Why he felt the need to like respond to this while he's in a car and upload this, I feel like it's not going to bode well for him. Because like I don't think him following Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic make him an Uncle Ruckus. I genuinely believe that he's not one. But my guess is he's not going to respond in a good manner at all. Take your bets now, guys. Take your bets now. Is this going to be a good response? Not a good response? Let me know. But God, let's see how this goes.
Okay, so let's talk about all the drama that's going on out there, all the controversy that's been happening over the last few days. Now, I'm sure people are going to ask, why did it take Rob so long to respond? Well, I'll be honest with you guys.
I mean, it's not that it took you so long. You've been responding to this multiple times when you didn't need to.
After I first saw Ernie's video, I was pissed. I was incensed. I don't think I've ever been that angry in my entire life, right? Because the whole video was effectively a hit piece, right? And it was just dragging me through the mud. It was leaving out statements that I had made in that video on Twitter that didn't make me look racist, and then keeping statements that actually made me look racist. So, like, as an example, one of the things that I said in that video on Twitter that Ernie left out and just...
You know what would help you, buddy? You know what would help you if, like, maybe instead of just, like, being in your car recording your response, I'm sure you're out busy somewhere, right? But maybe instead of recording this in your car, maybe you can, I don't know, go to your studio where you record all your videos and, you know, edit a good response instead of just like shooting from the hip and just like, guys, so they took me out of context. But you're not going to show, you're not going to show what the context is because you're recording this on your phone. And I assume that you probably just upload like, oh, looks like there's a bit of an edit here. Okay, so you did edit this. Okay. But like, you know what could have helped you is like if you like showed what he took out of context and stuff, that would have helped you quite a bit. what you're basically doing here is you're asking someone else to like do the defense video for you. I guess I am kind of doing the quote unquote like defense stream, but it's like, dude, like the way you're going about this is kind of lolcow behavior. Cause like you could have just like either one or two things, either not respond at all or just made one singular response instead of making like multiple videos on Twitter and then making a video on YouTube. You should have just kept it to this video on your YouTube channel.
Just kind of skimmed over and grouped into, then he started talking about some, you know, erroneous, unnecessary things. Is that when I sit down and I make a video, I do not at any point take into account the skin color of the writer, the artist, or the main character, their race, or any of that stuff. The only standard I use is whether or not I enjoy the story. The only time that race plays a factor is if the race of that character is an intrinsic part of that story. And that's when I use the example of Blue Marvel, right? And kind of gave a quick bit of a synopsis in order for people to understand how race played a role within that story, right? And how that kind of feeds into whether or not, you know, I focus on race when I'm talking about making a video or deciding to make a video. But yeah, I was mad as hell. Like I was fucking pissed. And there were a lot of erroneous claims that were made in that video. For example, one of the things he said is that my audience is mostly white. I mean, he doesn't know that because I don't know that. And I don't know that because YouTube doesn't tell me that. YouTube gives me a lot of analytics, but as far as I know, there is no analytic that shows what the skin color of a viewer is. I mean, I can see if you're watching on an iPhone, I can see what state you're in. I can see what time of day you watch my videos.
I think he's going by like generally what like the commenters say when you talk about like black superheroes, black creators, black characters in general. I think he's going by that. But I think it's generally an okay stance to have that. More than likely, given the demographic of like comic book fans in general, it is probably safe to assume that your fan base probably is mostly white. But also, too, that's a perfect freeze frame. That's fucking creepy as that freeze frame's fucking creepy as hell.
Right, I can see a lot of information about you as a viewer, but I cannot see your skin color. I can see if you're male or female. For example, my audience is 96% male, but I don't know if you're black, white, you know, Asian, Hispanic, whatever the case happens to be. So that was just kind of an outrageous claim. The idea that I was giving shit to Angel Reese on Twitter because she was black, I don't know where he got that from. I was giving her shit on Twitter because she's an asshole. And I don't know anybody who would doubt that claim, right? Or at least was coming off as an asshole at that point. There were a lot of claims like that, you know, that were being made, you know, that I don't like being black, you know, that I intentionally whitewashed my avatar. I mean, these were honestly, in seeing a lot of that, the video just looked like it was coming from a place of anger. And it would look like it was coming from a place of, you know, Comics Explained is going down a path that I don't like, or at least I perceive he is. And I'll talk about why I think, you know, that's the perception, but I perceive he is. And therefore, I'm going to make a video that does everything I can to tear him down, you know. I mean, there's accuracy in the statement that I don't follow Milestone, but like I said, you know, it just didn't resonate with me on a personal level. And I'll stick.
No, yeah, all this because he doesn't like Milestone, by the way. This whole drama stems from the fact that he does not follow and doesn't really read any Milestone characters whatsoever. You could have avoided it all. You could have avoided it all, Rob, if you just read Static. If you just read Static, if you just read Icon. Again, can you tell I don't follow Milestone either? These are the only two characters I've been naming the whole stream. He's like, you know, if you just read more Milestone, you wouldn't have been called an Uncle Ruckus. But no, you didn't, and so therefore you are.
Stick by that. I'm not going to apologize for not enjoying a comic book line, which is a point that I made in that video on Twitter. There's a lot of comic book lines that I don't find enjoyment with. I'm not a huge fan of G.I. Joe. I think All Hail Megatron is like the only story arc I've ever enjoyed from Transformers, right? But again, those things got left out because it was much easier for me to simply just take out that segment of me saying, I'm not really a huge fan of Milestone. And then to say, Rob doesn't identify as black, you know, that kind of thing, right? So that's why the whole video felt like a hit piece. Now, whether or not it was Ernie's intention to create a hit piece on me, I don't know. But if it looks like a duck and walks like a duck, whatever. And so following that, right? I had to calm down. I had to calm down because, don't get me wrong, I had every urge to clap back and to call this man every name, everything in the book, but a child of God. Like, I had every urge to do that. And in fact, I actually
but I'm not, and so therefore I'm better.
Up a live stream yesterday, and then, you know, once the live stream was done, YouTube uploads live streams. It kept giving me upload errors. I don't fucking know, right? I feel like these days the website only ever works half the time, and when it does work, it doesn't work right. Fucking AI. So, having said that, you know, once I saw that it was all starting to pick up steam, and everybody was starting to make videos, right? People on TikTok were making videos, people on YouTube were making videos. TikTok was pulling no punches, right? It was.
No, dude, TikTok, comic book TikTok's fucking brutal, man. Fucking brutal.
It was nuts on TikTok. When people on TikTok, you know, people were making their videos, I just sat back and started watching it, you know, and some of the people who were making videos, I mean, they were just trend jacking, right? You know, people talking shit about Comics Explained, you know, I'll get my licks in too, you know, get their views where they could. And some people were genuinely upset. But from what I gather, the only thing that I think most people really wanted to know was that when it came out that I followed Critical Drinker and Nerderotic on Twitter, that in that statement in the video that I made, where I said I listen to people like them because I'm not 100% right and they're not 100% wrong, that statement came off as very ambiguous. And people wanted to know, what do I agree with them on, right? So, in seeing all these videos that people were making, and how it was all snowballing. You know, people were saying things like, you know, I bet Rob's a Trump supporter. You know, like, I bet Rob's against trans rights. You know, I bet Rob's definitely racist. All right, let's get some motherfucking shit cleared up right now. My guy, there has never been a time when I have been a Trump supporter. I am not a fan of what ICE is doing out there. I got brown skin, in case you didn't notice. So the Supreme Court and Clarence Thomas, who doesn't know he's black, they name me public enemy number 1, right? At any point, like every single day.
So, yeah, I mean, what do you do? Because, like, to his hardcore supporters, he's gonna be okay. But, like, anyone who believes he's like a Uncle Ruckus, you're not gonna be able to convince them. Unfortunately, you're not. And that's a sad thing, is that, like, people get so fucking brainwashed with their perceptions. What, he's only read All Hail Megatron? I mean, you know, if he admits he doesn't like Transformers, he doesn't like G.I. Joe, you know,